Now then, you lovely lot, how are you? Thanks for joining me today. My name's Emma and this is a 10 Minute Quilter. Today is Sunday. I know I normally load my videos on a Friday evening, don't I? And this will be coming out on Friday evening as usual. But I've got a horrendous week this week, so I'm trying to be proactive and a little bit more organised. Most unlike me, I know. And I thought I'd record today so that I can load it up and I can do the editing and get it out to you guys on Friday without spending the end of the week rushing around like I probably would do normally. So I thought we'd jump on and just have a quick catch up if that's okay. I feel like I haven't done a little catch up for a while. I have a couple of finished objects to show you, and I thought we'd also have a look at the box out of the cupboard of doom and pick another project from that and decide its fate, and also perhaps discuss a new project. So as you know, I think I've mentioned, I did a little bit of a tidy up in my room a couple of weeks ago. Not hugely successful. I have a big pile down there. I have a big pile of fabric down there that needs to go into the cupboard. Unfortunately, I don't think I can get it in the cupboard in its current state at the moment. I was slightly worried that I was over-egging the cupboard of doom and making it sound worse than what it actually was. But I was on a FaceTime call with my sister this week, and so I decided to test the theory and I asked her if she would like to see it. My she's very, very neat and tidy. She's very organised, complete opposite to me. And so I turned the camera around and opened the doors, and there was like a stunned silence. And then she said to me, "How do you manage to find anything in there?" And I was like, well, therein lies the problem, because you pull everything out looking for something, and then by the time you found what you're looking for, I can't be bothered to tidy it up, so everything just gets thrown back in. So I felt a little bit validated that it really is what I thought it was. Anyway, so there's a pile of fabric there, and my idea of tidying is, you know, to put things into bags and then just throw it over the back of the quilt frame, because it's out of sight and out of mind, so that's fine. So I did find a couple of projects that have been lingering, and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to finish those. So one of them is the quilt top that my dear friend Jacqui had started. So she had made some of the blocks for this quilt, and it's I think it's from a Laurie Holt book, pattern book, which I thought I had upstairs. I thought I'd kept back. I couldn't actually find it when I went looking for it just now, which makes me wonder whether I've passed it on to somebody else. Anyway, so she'd started to make these. She'd made some of the blocks, and she had made, I'm trying to think, she'd made, like for instance, she'd made the chicken, and she was obviously planning on doing a big version and then a small version as well. So there were a few blocks, and one of the lovely ladies from our group, Helen, volunteered to take it home and put it together as a quilt top, which she did. And I think she made a few extra blocks to go in there as well. I will see if I can find the name of the quilt and put it in the description box below. And she put it together into this lovely quilt top, which has been sat in my sewing room for quite some period of time, waiting to be quilted. So this came out as a result of the tidy up, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get this quilted, and then I can get it passed back to her family. And I had I had this backing fabric in the cupboard, so I pulled that out, and I did actually cut a fresh piece of wadding off the roll because I didn't have a piece big enough to do it, and I wasn't really in the mood for piecing together, you know, lots of scrap bits. So I cut a fresh piece off and loaded it on, and there were a few bags behind there that I would have to move out the way if I wanted to do a pantograph. So I decided I would do just freehand from the front of the machine. And so I just did I don't know what you would call it really. Is it a flower? It's like a hook, and then you sort of bounce back out with a, like a flower shape, petal shape, I don't know. Can't remember, I don't know what you'd call it. But yeah, just did that all over, and it took me, it was less than a day to get it done, so it was fairly quick really, and I did really enjoy doing it. And it's an Aurifil thread, top and bottom, and it was just an off-white, just to go with the quilt really. So that was done. And I've also, out of the cupboard, I've managed to find this stripe binding, this stripe fabric that I'm going to use for binding, which I have joined together last night. So this will go on over the next day or so when I get a chance. I tried very hard to match up the stripes on the binding. I don't think I did too bad a job. There's one or two that are slightly off, but I decided I'd try and match them up a little bit so it all goes nice and smooth. So like I say, that will go on. That's a Moda. I think it was a Jen Kingwell, actually, that one. And I think I mentioned on my previous video that when I was tidying up the room, I'd also come across some scrap blocks that she'd been working on. And I had a pile of them, and I put them up on the wall, and over that weekend I just sewed them together. It was a really nice, easy, you know, no-brainer type thing to put them together. And I thought, well, I've got enough on the frame of backing and wadding to be able to do that one as well. So I'll just continue and just do that one straight away. And I loaded it on, and I just basted one edge, and then I just suddenly thought, oh, I might just check. So I pulled the wadding out from underneath, and rather typically, I think I was something like 2 inches short of wadding. I had plenty of backing, but I was short on the wadding. Spliced on a bit of wadding from out of the cupboard with a zigzag stitch on the machine. And then loaded it on, and we were away. And I think, but you can see by the picture, I was literally sort of this far off what I needed. And I had a pattern in mind that I wanted to have a go at. So I'm a big fan of Stitch by Susan, and she does a pattern which she calls Crazy Eights, which I wanted to have a go at. And I will put a link down below to the one that I watched. I sometimes find it very difficult to go back and find the episode that I'm looking for with Stitch by Susan, because she has so many, and a lot of them come under her live and unscripted sessions. So I will put that down below if you're interested in having a look. And it's a lovely pattern, which I thought this would actually be really, really useful for, because it gave me very definite markers of where I wanted to hit. So if you can see, I've come down here, and then I can hit underneath that one, and I came up and hit the middle of that one. So that sort of span between them was a really good marker for the pattern. Now, I had some complete donkeys right at the very beginning, and I had some really, really nice ones that I was very, very pleased with towards the end. But then towards the end I was thinking, oh, I've got this, you know, it's like, yeah, I've got this, this is really good. And then I got another donkey, so, and that's no offence to donkeys. Anyway, and again, I found a stripe It's a Moda again, this one, in the cupboard, which has gone all the way round, which I think finishes it quite nicely. This binding went on from the front, and then I did turn it to the back and hand stitched it down. And I think I will probably do the same with that one because they're going to the family. I think I'd like to spend a little bit more time on them, really. That makes, I've had 3 finishes recently. So there was my snail's trail, and there was this one, and I count this as nearly finished, although it might take me 2 weeks to get the binding on, but I count this one as finished. And two of those 3 finishes will actually be leaving the building. So I think that entitles me to, sorry, that's my ruler, that entitles me to starting a new project now, doesn't it? Because that's how it works. Yeah, just agree with me, don't argue, okay? I've had my eye on this for a while. This is Diamond Star Quilts by Barbara Cline, I think it is. But I have had my eye on that for quite a while now. I think you can see the book opens automatically at that page. So I am going to have a go at it. I'm a little devil, aren't I? It's not big, it's only 48 by 48, and it doesn't use huge quantities of fabric, unfortunately. It's one yard of light, 1 yard of dark, and just short of 3 yards for the background. But I don't know, it just really appeals to me. So that is going to be my new project. But I have to pull some fabric out for it, don't I? Which does, of course, mean going into the cupboard. And I can't face that today. So that might be something for the end of the week, maybe. Little treat, if you like. Here is the box that the Snail's Trail came out of. Abandoned Quilt Club members, all attention please. So the box hasn't been touched since the last time I went in it. So let's have a little look and see what we've got, shall we? I have no idea what that is. It's some sort of interfacing for something. And we're just going to take the top thing off. And it's applique Christmas. Now I know we did this in class once. We did it let me see if I can, oh, hang on. Right, I'm gonna pull that out, and I'm gonna put that away now, because that's the next project is down there. So I'm gonna leave that one to one side. Now we did these as postcards, sort of like Christmas cards. 1 year in class, and so we were creating postcards like this, which is why there are the cards. I don't know where I was going with this. I don't think I want to continue with it any further. So what I'm going to do is cut off that bit there. This bit will go into scrap, and I'm going to abandon that one because I don't. That can go into scrap, and those postcards can all go back into store. That can go in the bin. So yeah, this one is not being kept. We're gonna move this one on, and I'm gonna save those bits of paper because I think they are foundation paper piecing papers. There's a pattern on them, but I think I can recycle those. So decision made. That can go as well, I think. Don't want to keep that. That will go. Okay, so that is one project gone, dealt with. Do I delve in and take out another one? No, I don't think I do. What I have got is these. I did pull these out as well whilst I was tidying. And this is Farmhouse Flannels by Primitive Gatherings. and really, really nice flannels in a grey. And I'd obviously bought some more yardage to supplement it as well. And I think, if I remember rightly, my plan was just to put these together into a 4-patch and then alternate it with some bigger squares of this, and it was supposed to be a nice sort of winter cozy quilt, I think for one of my boys actually. So I might work on that one instead of after I've abandoned that one. So I think that will be my next sort of UFO to finish. Okay, so I think that's it for this week. Thanks ever so much for joining me. I am looking for quilt patterns to use up some of my extensive collection of fat quarters. I have quite a few. In the comments down below with your top recommendations for quilts using up fat quarters. Nothing too complicated, because I don't think I can't cope with complicated at the minute. So, but yes, your favourite way of using up your fat quarters out of your stash. And then perhaps we'll have a little challenge, shall we? And see if we can all use some of our fat quarters up on a quilt together. How does that sound? Thanks for joining me today. I hope that you're all well. I hope that you have a good week, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. Bye.